Getting right into today's video, I am so excited to be doing an updated acrylic application, and I felt like this was the perfect video to do so because we're going to be doing a new set on my lovely client. Everyone welcome my girl. She was an OG client of mine and reached out, and I was like, you know what? Yes, let's do your nails. So here she is. We're gonna be starting off by prepping her natural nail. She does have a little bit of damage, but it wasn't something that I couldn't go over with the tip. Always make sure that it is not a fresh wound whenever you are going in and applying acrylic or really any type of enhancement. So I'm just going in with my Mandrel bit and sanding band, filing, or I should say buffing off the shine of the nail. This is something that you absolutely do not want to bypass when you are applying tips, acrylic, gel, whatever you're doing to a nail. If you want it to last, you have to do all of these steps. So I'm going in with that Mandrel bit, buffing off the shine while also pushing back her cuticle area. And then we're going in with this diamond bit to fully remove that dead skin. If you start implementing more thorough prep for your client, the longevity of their nails are going to be way better than if you only do your basic prep. So here I'm taking my cuticle ball bit and just buffing off that dead cuticle. I'm actually gonna be doing a little bit of trimming. Your girl has gotten a little bit more comfortable with clipping and nipping off that dead skin. She had it nice and thick, so I felt a little bit more secure with not going too deep, but still removing the bulk of it off. So you can see I'm just going very carefully in with my cuticle nippers and just trimming off that excess dead skin. I will never recommend doing this all the way through because that means you can cause a good cut and then an infection might happen. So always do your own research, of course. That's just my preference. I do not like doing this unless it's nice and thick like this. So I'm just going in and trimming that off very carefully. And then once I'm done, I'm gonna be going in and applying my tips using my Young Nails brush on glue. These tips are from Amazon. I'm just holding it there for a few seconds, making sure that the sides fit perfectly. And then we are going in with our nail tip cutter and trimming them to the desired length. She wanted a medium to long length, so definitely love the length of this. I feel like I am starting to like shorter nails now. You guys will be able to see the transition in my nail length. It is insanely short in comparison to what you guys are used to seeing on my channel. So I'm gonna go in and just finish trimming these off, and then we're gonna go in very quickly and buff that tip into her natural nail. I'm using my Mandrel bit at a speed of 4,000 RPMs and just kind of sanding that down so that it is a little bit more flush. I don't do this all the time, and it is absolutely not necessary unless you feel like you should. I'm gonna be going in with a nude color that is a little bit on the transparent side, so I don't want any of that tip to show underneath. That's kind of the reason why I'm blending it together. And then just very quickly shaping those nails. Make sure you pull back the skin so that you do not cut your client, and then you can go in and file them a little bit. Going in with my Tammy Taylor peel and stick file on the sides and then on the tip as well, just to have everything nice and squared. If you are new to nails and struggle with your shaping, I always recommend a good hand file. This one is my absolute favorite, and I have gotten a lot of positive feedback with switching over to this hand file. A lot of y'all see a huge difference with using this hand file versus other ones. And always stabilize the opposite side of the nail when you're filing on one side, and then hold it nice and sturdy. That's gonna do the trick as well. I'm just cleaning off the surface of the nail, removing all the dust and dehydrating the natural nail as well with Young Nails Swipe and a lint-free wipe. And I'm going in with my primer. This one is from Not Polish. We're gonna be adding a thin coat of that just on the natural nail, and if you are scared that they're gonna pop off, go ahead and add a second layer once that one is dry. Now, I always recommend referring back to my liquid to powder ratio if you are new to nails or my channel. That is a very good, thorough video of how to pick up the perfect bead. Once you get that down, you can go straight into your acrylic application and you can see how easily it will be to apply your acrylic, nice, smooth, and super perfect so that you don't have to do a ton of filing. I'm going in with a medium-sized bead of acrylic pretty much every time until I get closer to the cuticle area. It is super easy to work with when you have that liquid to powder ratio down perfectly. So again, medium-sized bead, I'm putting it kind of in the center of the nail, and then I start holding the finger downward. The product is gonna flow down. You're going to simply pat it into place and kind of drag it into the area that you want it to go. You see that I'm doing very minimal dragging. I'm not wiping it. I'm just pretty much patting it and guiding it into the area that I want it to go. That is key when you have your liquid to powder ratio perfect. So definitely recommend you guys practice that first. And then again, another medium bead right on top of that one. That's gonna help kind of build the apex. I personally do my nails a lot thinner. So if you want it built up, obviously add more. And then once you add that second bead, that's when you can blend it into that existing acrylic. You can see I'm kind of just guiding it into the cuticle area and then blending downwards. Again, very quickly, I'm gonna start patting it into place, pretty much guiding it down towards the nail. I wanna make sure that I tuck in the sides and the tip so that the shape is still perfect and it's not adding thickness to it. And then once we go in with our next bead, that is when I'm gonna do a ton of blending. I kind of guide it into place and then blend downward very quickly. So I kind of hold it there, push it into place, and then quickly just blend. Very, very light pressure. And then if you have any little spillage, clean it up with the tip of your brush, but you're pretty much just wanting to flatten it all out and blend everything nicely together. And then the cuticle bead, always hold the finger down, guide it into the area that you want it. You can see me moving her finger with my hand and then guiding the product where I want it to go, blending it out as easy peasy as you guys can see it. And for reference, I am using a size 12 brush. So the bigger the brush you get, the bigger the bead is going to be, whether you use my liquid to powder ratio formula or not. Obviously, the bigger your brush, the bigger the bead, the smaller the bead. So always remember that as well when you are changing out sizes of your brush. Now, once you tap that nail and it makes a clicking noise, that is a perfect indicator that your nail is dry and ready to be filed. I'm going in with my e-file. You can always go in with a hand file if you are not comfortable with an e-file. I'm going around that cuticle area very carefully, making sure that that acrylic is nice and flush to the nail. If you didn't know, now you know. If it is super thick in that area, that can always cause lifting too. So if you're doing your prep super thorough and you are wondering why nails are still lifting and why they are popping off, you can always make sure and check the thickness of that cuticle area. Needs to be nice and flush. It has to look like it's growing out of the cuticle area and not like it's just laying on top. So I'm going in very quickly and filing that cuticle area and then the surface of the nail. I do lay my acrylic as neat as possible, so the filing process isn't super insane, but I'm still going in to make sure that everything is super smooth. And then of course we still want to go in and file those sides and the tip. Even though I tucked in my sides, it still adds a little bit of thickness, and you can always accidentally get some acrylic that overflows, which makes it a little bit more bulky as well. So taking your hand file and filing the sides, again, hold the opposite side sturdy so that it doesn't wiggle everywhere and cause discomfort. It is a game changer when you start doing that. Your client is going to be a lot more comfortable, and a lot of the time they're not going to say anything, but now you know to always stabilize that finger. Finally, going in with my sponge buffer and buffing that surface of the nail, making it super, super smooth for our nail art application. Now for her nail art, we are going to be doing a French nail, and then we're going to be adding some nail art to that white tip. So I'm going in with my nail art brush from Not Polish. We're going to be outlining the smile line first with the white gel paint from Profiles Backstage. Then I'm actually taking my 3D nail art brush, adding some of that gel paint onto my bristles and making my life a little bit easier, making it quicker process by infilling the rest of the nail with that thicker brush. It just saves a little bit of time, and honestly speaking, so much easier. We're going to be going in and doing that on the rest of the nails as well, curing in the light for a full 60 seconds. Now for her nail art, I'm going to be taking that same liner brush from Not Polish, using black gel paint for all the accents, which I'm obsessed with the look of white and black. It just looks so good and so clean, so definitely excited to be doing that. For the ring finger, we're going to be doing a Blossom gel from Not Polish, and then we're going to be adding black gel paint to do this snake skin type of design. Super, super easy. You kind of just put it on there down the center and then tinier dots down the sides, and you just let it blossom and bloom on its own, and you get a beautiful effect. Always cure that once you are content with the amount that it has spread. Otherwise, it's just going to be a whole black blob. And then for the middle finger, we're going to be doing a little cross, and then we're going to be adding chrome to that afterwards. So I'm drawing the cross, and then we're going to be placing that in the light, curing it, and then adding our chrome powder to that. While that hand is curing in the light, we're gonna go ahead and prep the opposite hand. I'm adding Gloss It Top Coat from Not Polish as our base because we're gonna be adding some texture to it. Cured that, and then we're going in with white gel paint, also adding snake print on top, except before we cure it, we're gonna go in and pour some white acrylic on there. I decided to use white so that it's a little bit more vibrant. If you use clear, it kind of dims it a little bit, and I really want it to pop once we're done with her nails. So adding that white is just gonna make it extra popping on top of that white gel paint. Once you pour that acrylic, go ahead and cure it. I'm going in with this chrome powder from Not Polish, just the silver chrome. And then I'm gonna be top coating the rest of the nails and placing that in the light for a full minute. And then of course we're topping off those nails with a Sweet V cuticle oil from Profiles Backstage, rubbing it in, and that pretty much concludes today's video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a ton, and I'll see you guys next time.